If you struggle with confidence or self-love, then this video is going to be so helpful for you as I'm breaking down I'll move out of the way, 3 powerful tools for self-love. And some of these are tools I used when I was at my most insecure, when I used to hate looking in the mirror. I couldn't think of any single thing I liked about myself, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and really felt major disconnect from who I was and what I was here to do. So this video, I'm going to be breaking down these 3 shifts and sharing the exact tools that you can start using today to change your relationship to yourself, to start feeling confident, and to really build and create the life where everything is possible and you're able to show up a lot more free and fulfilled. So let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. Notifications. Please turn those on so you're the first to be notified each time I upload a new video. And if you're enjoying this as I get going, please make sure to hit the thumbs up. So let's get started with these 3 tools. Now, number 1, you have heard me talk about a lot on other videos. If you're new here to this channel, I would highly recommend checking out this video here later after this one so that you understand more about the mindset shifts that will really help you catalyze. Wow, I don't know where my words are today. That will really be catalysts for your growth is what I wanted to say, and then I was trying to make it, is catalyze a word? So the first thing is to uncover your limiting beliefs and the root cause. So LBs for short. So uncover your limiting beliefs and the root cause. So if you are struggling to love yourself right now, and this could be at any stage in your life, but if you're struggling to love yourself, then there are limiting beliefs that are blocking you from doing that. There's certain stories you're telling yourself about, like, I'm not good enough right now. I can only love myself when I achieve this or become this or transform into this, right? Some kind of external validation or external accomplishment that you're then going to feel like you're worthy. So for example, for a long time, I felt like I would pray and pray and pray, and I wasn't like a religious person, but I would pray like, God, just please help me clear up my acne, and like, then I'll love myself, then I'll love myself and I'll feel confident. The thing is like, even as that started to get better, then it was like, God, please help me get a 6-pack. If I could just get a 6-pack, I'll love myself. Like, I will love myself fully and I'll feel confident. But like, even when I started to have more abs, I still didn't feel that way. So when you're relying on these external things, you're never going to feel satisfied. There's always going to be another marker and another thing you're trying to achieve. So what we want to do is learn to love yourself right now fully and love your true authentic self for everything that you are, and for the soul underneath this physical clothing that you have on, to realize that you are worthy just for existing, and you deserve to love yourself and take care of yourself just because you're here right now. So when you uncover these limiting beliefs, you also start to look at the root cause. Now, like, what is the root cause of this belief? Where did it stem from? What are some examples when you were younger where maybe this became a trigger or a focal point for you? If it's related to like weight and appearance, what did you see in the media, or what did you hear from your parents, or what kind of comments did friends make that have now become really ingrained in your mind, and so you associate so strongly to that story. Every single thought is just a story. So what story are you telling yourself, right? We want to uncover that, uncover the root cause, because that is where you can then reframe it into a positive. So, like, as long as you're holding on to these negative stories, right? Like, this is the negative. As long as you're holding on to those, then it's going to be really hard to love yourself. And as long as you're searching for something external to make you feel enough, you're always going to find something that you still need in order to be happy. Like I said, we want you to feel happy and in love and confident with yourself right now, regardless of all of those things. So how can you reframe old beliefs and turn them into certain positive things that then allow you to create new truths? Let's write that down. So I'm really liking this pink pen. New truths. So the new truth is that I get to love myself right now. And the new truth is, let's carry on with some of my examples. For instance, when I first really dove hard into self-love and confidence work a few years back, like 3 or 4 years ago, like I said, I still was carrying the image of my like teenage self who had the worst acne possible, and who just really felt like this ugly duckling who wasn't good enough. I had so much attachment to that identity, and I was constantly playing those stories. Now, the more you play those stories, the more you train your brain to find validation and proof of those stories. So that means every time I looked in the mirror, like my eyes were literally drawn to like breakouts, right? Because that was like programmed in me to find that, to search for more proof of it. So then you feel worse because you're like, oh, I see even more breakouts, and you're focusing on it. You probably stress more, you beat yourself up more, and then you probably end up with more breakouts. It's this vicious cycle. And that's obviously just an example. That could come into play with weight loss. Like you feel like you're not hitting your goals or something, you feel disheartened, you beat yourself up more, you feel worse, and then maybe you end up stress eating, or you end up avoiding your workouts, or just kind of feeling really down and stuff like that. And so you're not taking care of yourself anyway, which then makes you feel worse and be even further from the progress that you want. So these negative feedback loops are not helping in any area of your life. So what I started to do with my skin was reframing it into a positive thing. So instead of looking in the mirror and I would focus on the acne and I would feel like, oh, I'm so ugly. Like, look at these breakouts, I'm so ugly. Those were the thoughts that I used to have. So I started to reframe it, and this is gonna sound so cheesy, and believe me, it felt really cheesy when I was doing it. But I started to say, oh, I really love these character marks, or like, what did I call them? Instead of like a beauty mark or something, it was just like, oh, it's just like adding character. It's just like something different for me today, like these character spots or whatever I wanted to call them, something that made me feel a little bit less negative and more just like, you know what, this is my skin today. I do have a few new breakouts, but like, they're just adding character, like they're just adding more dimension to my face. Like I just really detached all the negative connotations to them and made it something just like meaningless, or something that kind of made me laugh and feel moderately entertained. And so then I wasn't feeling so negative about my skin. So thinking about your negative ones and then reframing them into positive new truths that can now become what story you're going to focus on and tell yourself, so that you can look in the mirror right now and have nothing change physically, but start to feel better in who you are. So comment down below, I'm ready to feel amazing in who I am. Or you know what, even better, I feel amazing in who I am. Because we're calling it in. It might not be true yet, but we're calling in that future. We're not pushing it and like waiting for it. We're saying, I already do feel this way. I already feel enough. I already feel amazing just in myself. So step number 2 is a challenge. So the challenge, oh yeah. It's like, it is a challenge I'm presenting to you. It's not necessarily challenging. That's what I wanted to say. So the challenge is, okay, what is your biggest issue, maybe, that's making you feel insecure or making you feel like you're not enough right now or struggling to love yourself fully? And then what sort of things are you doing right now that are continuing to fuel that? So adding to my examples so that you can learn from me, and then implant whatever relates to you the best. I also felt like I was ugly if I didn't have mascara on, because I wore mascara every single day for a long time. So if I didn't have it on, I felt, there's a train going by, I felt really unattractive. I also hated my natural hair color, and I dyed my hair since I was 16. Like, I never had my natural hair color ever. From 16 to 24, probably 8 years of dyeing it constantly because I hated my natural color, and I continued to tell the story of how ugly my natural hair color was, so then I hated it more, right? And hated myself more because that was who I naturally was. So that's really toxic energy. So my challenge to myself was 1 year, and you don't have to do this fully, you don't have to go a full year, but maybe you even go like a week or two, depending on what your challenge is going to be. I went a full year, no hair dye. So my natural hair color, I just like box dyed my natural hair color, so my whole head was like that, and I just left it like that for a year, which basically forced me to go, oh, you know what, Kara, you're still amazing. You're still a great person. You're still really nice and friendly and kind and cute. Like, you don't need to hate yourself because of your hair color. That's just ridiculous. So I did 1 year with no hair dye and no mascara. So you know what? After you do even like a week or two of that, if you focus on the right things and on reprogramming your mind in a positive, supportive way, you go a few weeks with no mascara, and you remember that you are enough without it. And again, this is just an example, but I started to go, you know what? My eyes are really pretty whether I have mascara on or not. I don't feel like I need mascara in order to be pretty enough. And I've worked with and met so many different women, and I even think about back in like high school and junior high and all the insecurities that we have as women specifically around our body and our image because of society and because of the media and because we're constantly being pushed and sold things to make us better. I just think of how many women struggle to feel enough in just like their natural selves. And it's really, really sad. And it hurt me when I started to realize how hard I had been on myself for all those years. So this 1 year challenge can really help you to start to love yourself just in your truest self. So whatever kind of thing you're using right now as a mask to cover up your insecurities or to make you feel better, how could you kind of challenge yourself to spend a few weeks or a month or something not doing that and not relying on that to build you up? So learning to love yourself without all the makeup, looking in the mirror and telling yourself you're beautiful and telling yourself that you're more than just your physical body, whether you're dressed really cute or whether you have your makeup and your hair done or whether you're just like woke up and walked out of bed and you look crazy, like in a good way, a good crazy. Like, learning to love yourself every single step of the way is going to change everything for your own confidence, the way you show up in all areas of your life, and also for relationships. I felt like for myself, I realized if I don't feel comfortable in how I look, unless like my hair's done or my makeup's done and like my mascara's on and all this stuff, like, so when I'm dating someone, am I literally not ever gonna be comfortable to like be with them without this makeup on or without this production? Because like, that's not gonna be fun. That's gonna be so much work and so much energy to try to feel like the only way I'm enough for my partner is like if I have all this external stuff done. So I really wanted to focus on loving myself in my most natural state, because that is going to allow me to feel confident, to feel good, to set my standards. And it's also going to mean that I'm going to attract a partner who loves me, respects me, and everything for who I truly am. And they're not just like drawn to me because I dress perfect or look perfect all the time. They get to know who I truly am, and that's going to be more than enough. But you can't expect that to come externally if internally you don't feel that yourself first. So let me know in the comments down below what kind of challenge you're gonna set for yourself. Maybe it's just a week. Maybe it's like, for this week, I'm going to do this, or I'm gonna stop doing this, or I'm gonna change this habit so that when I look in the mirror, I remember that I'm enough right now, regardless of what else is going on. I forgot to say this during the video because, as y'all know, I like to talk and I get sidetracked. But after the 1-year challenge of going without dyeing my hair, without wearing mascara, I really started to feel confident in my true self. Now, you might be noticing I have some blonde hair and I actually have some purple in it right now. I am wearing mascara, so you might think like, oh, she's a hypocrite, what's she talking about? The thing is that now I feel comfortable to do these things and feel beautiful regardless. So it's not like before where I felt like the only way I was pretty enough was if I had mascara on. The only way I could leave the house each day was if I had mascara on. The only way I could show up on social media was like if I didn't have breakouts, right? Depending on these things in order to feel enough, but that was totally gone after my 1-year challenge, and quite honestly, after probably only like a month or 2 of doing it, I started to really love myself truly and fully for who I was. Now, I still wear mascara when I want to and when I feel like it, but I don't rely on it. I don't need it in order to feel like I'm good enough. And I dye my hair when I want to, when I feel like it, and for fun and like a nice way to express myself, but it's not dependent on my self-worth. And that is the biggest thing that I want for each and every one of you, is to be able to detach your self-worth from your physical self and from who you think you are. You are worthy just for being you. You are worthy whether you wear mascara or not. You are worthy whether you dye your hair or not. You are worthy whether you lose 5 pounds or not. You are worthy whether you dress nice or whether you have sweatpants on because you work from home and you're self-employed and you can do what you want and be business on top and comfy on the bottom. Your worth does not lie in any of these things. So comment down below, my worth does not lie in what I look like. My worth does not lie in what I look like. I am worthy because I exist. That is the affirmation. That is the truth. Please don't ever forget that. Now, let's get back into where I cut out of the other video. And that leads us into number 3, which is dun da da da. Some of you are gonna hate me. Mirror work and Superwoman. These are 2 really, really powerful tools for changing your self-image, for changing your self-talk, for forcing yourself to love yourself, for all of that good stuff. Now, mirror work is something that Louise Hay talks about a lot, and she is so incredible. I love her teachings. Her book, You Can Heal Your Life, was so powerful when I read that like 5 years ago now, maybe. Just an amazing woman, and all about self-love and embracing your truest self and unlearning all the things that have harmed you in the past that you're carrying and now physically manifesting. But enough about that. The mirror work and what you're gonna practice is every time you're standing in front of a mirror, or every time you walk by a mirror, it's like looking at yourself and saying or thinking something very positive. You can let me know in the comments, if you feel comfortable, how many of you struggle to think something nice when you look at yourself in the mirror. That was me for like 20 some years, where, like I said, all I focused on was my acne, my teeth, like my eyebrows, my hair, like everything I could possibly think of I thought was wrong, and that's what I focused on. So I hated mirrors, and I only thought negative things about myself when I saw them. So the daily practice of shifting that is going to change your whole self-image and your level of self-love and confidence. So I think it was like I just decided one day, every single time I see myself in the mirror, I'm gonna smile and I'm gonna think something really positive. Whether it's about my physical appearance or whether it's just about me as a human being, being more than enough, being kind, caring, whatever, right? anything that I believed in that was positive, I was going to install that as a new software into my mind every time I saw my reflection. So now, after years of doing this, like I literally light up every single time I see a mirror, and not in like an egotistical way, but just because I've programmed myself to feel good about who I am. So you can practice that every single day, and on top of that, Superwoman pose is like taking on this power pose, and it really is good in the morning. It's really great before like a work meeting or something where you need that extra confidence. And it's just like putting your hands on your hips and standing there in your power, feeling strong, and staring at yourself in the mirror and feeling like, yes, I got this, I'm enough. And listing off positive affirmations, or just smiling or laughing or having some kind of empowered feeling, so that you start to build your confidence, and it's associated with who you are and how you look. So you start to reframe and reprogram all of these new feelings and emotions into your reflection and into yourself, that then you carry on throughout the day. So let me know if you're gonna give that one a try, please, and I hope you do. And lastly, I have 2 different things to help you with this even further, depending on your specific goals. So we have, if you're someone who struggles with self-love and confidence, okay, wait a minute. I'm getting sidetracked. One thing quickly. One of my clients was practicing this, and it was so cool. Actually, like, they all practice it because this is what I teach as one little step inside Conquer Your Mind, is the mirror work, the Superwoman, you know, all of this reframing and stuff. But she shared in the group how she started to do that, and it allowed her to finally feel safe taking up space. This is something women in general, we do tend to struggle with a lot. And I read such a cool post this morning about how, like, physically men are taught to continue to build muscle and take up more space, whereas women are taught to get leaner and take up less space. And man, that is a mind fuck, because like we're literally taught that we're more approved, or we're better if we're smaller. And like, it's just crazy subconsciously how that affects us. But same vice versa for men, and for what's expected of them physically, and like how the media and these companies have really brainwashed us to think what is right. But one of my clients was doing this, and she just shared such an amazing post about how she finally felt like she was able to take up space and to feel confident in walking forward as her true self and showing up in the world as who she is authentically. And what I love about this process is that that is the goal for everyone, and that is my goal for every single one of you watching this, is that you start to just love your true self, so that you can live your truth and you can show up in whatever way that is, feeling full and feeling content and like feeling just blissed out and happy to be who you are. So I wanted to share that quick. Now, second thing is the Master Your Health and Fitness Mindset. So, I did a masterclass a few weeks back with Jennifer Nagal, and it was so powerful. We talked all about your mindset related to your health and fitness goals. So related to, you know, where it is you want to get to, because there is a balance between, like, yes, you can be working on self-improvement and adjusting your shape or your like fitness goals, right? Like working towards certain things, but it's so important to love yourself in the process and feel good and confident every step of the way, versus, like I said at the beginning, waiting for an external thing to make you feel good internally. It's about internally getting there first while you're working towards that external, in my opinion. That's the balance. So we did this amazing masterclass. It is linked down below. It looks like this, but you can totally check that out if you are looking for extra help and support with mindset around your health and fitness goals. We talk about some amazing things on there. And then the second one is to make sure you check out my free mindset training, which is linked down below as well, because this is going to dive in really, really deep into the things that are keeping you stuck right now with your mindset goals. So check that out. And please, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications, and hit the thumbs up. And then check out some of these other videos all about mindset reprogramming and all about confidence work, so that you can start to build the foundation and the mindset you need in order to show up in the world, to safely take up space, and to feel confident in your truest self. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.